What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics and continue our coverage over our X-Men reading order and pick up with Uncanny X-Men number 150. Now with this book right here, this is a very important book because this was the X-Men first time fighting against Magneto and actually winning the battle. But this one battle right here, it does set up a lot of different storylines coming in the near future on this channel. So with that being said, if you do like today's comic book video, hit that like button down below and subscribe. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below. But here we go. Today's comic book video, Uncanny X-Men number 150. So in the opening pages of this book, we pick up where our last Uncanny X-Men video left off at, which is that we saw Magneto had made some kind of castle on a random island. Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and Captain Lee Forrester found that castle when they got shipwrecked on the same island. Either way, in the opening pages of this book, we see Magneto telling the world that they need to hand over their political control of their countries to him. He broadcast this to the whole world so all of the different countries can hear this message, that he should be the world dictator because he can lead the world into a better future. Now this is Magneto actually trying to help the world, but I guess you can say he is going at it the wrong way. The reason why I say that is because he is trying to make the countries do this as a way to make the world safe for mutant races, but to also help the world at the same time. Instead, all of the countries are spending their money on wars and weapons. The money can be used for other problems like poverty, world hunger, and the list goes on. He tells this to Cyclops and Captain Lee Forrester, but the conversation does change to what had happened to Jean Grey, since Magneto knew Jean Grey and Cyclops were a couple, but of course she had died in the Dark Phoenix saga, and this is Cyclops telling him what had happened to her. While they were having this conversation, well, that is when the Soviet Union decided to attack Magneto at his new base by sending in submarines to shoot some missiles at his base. Except, of course, Magneto used his powers to stop the missiles, but he doesn't stop there. This man continues on with making the submarines sink to the bottom of the ocean, and this man wants to use the Soviet Union as an example of what happens when someone crosses him. So he goes there and makes a volcano erupt in the middle of one of their major cities to show what happens when people try to cross him. Now, if you are wondering why Cyclops won't use his powers to stop Magneto, Magneto set up some kind of power damper that stops everyone else's powers except his own. We then get a page that shows us Cyclops comforting Captain Lee Forrester because she is really concerned about everything that is going on. Continue to show that maybe the two of them will get together. But while the two of them are talking and building their bond, well, that is when you see something is in the sky. Well, it is the X-Men as they are flying back after their last mission, because remember that they were looking for Magneto because Charles Xavier was worried about Magneto. He sent the X-Men back to the old base of Magneto, hoping they would find him there. Of course, they did not. Getting back to the story, well, we see that something has caused their jet to go crazy and made them crash in part of the ocean that is near the island that belongs to Magneto. But we have to jump over to Charles Xavier, who is on a boat with Moira McTaggart, Carol Danvers, and Peter Cabot. Of course, Moira is the best friend of Charles Xavier and helps studies mutant genetics. Carol Danvers is here because what happened in Avengers Annual number 10. Check that video out for more. Peter is just a close friend of a lot of heroes, but Peter tells Charles Xavier that the Blackbird went offline but went missing in the same spot where Cyclops and Captain Lee Forrester's ship had crashed at, so all of them are going to head there now to figure out what is going on. Getting back to the X-Men, we see that the X-Men were able to escape the jet and try to swim their way to the shore, but thanks to Magneto's power damper, Colossus' powers got shut off, and he did not have scuba gear, so he drowned. So the X-Men had to carry him to the shore, which led to them running into Captain Lee Forrester on Magneto's island. Of course, once they reveal who they are to her, well, she remembers that Cyclops had told her about the X-Men. Then Wolverine senses something, but of course it was just Cyclops, so that lets the X-Men know they have found their old friend. But now they need to find a way to stop Magneto. Cyclops catches the X-Men up with what is going on. So the X-Men split up into two teams, one being all of the guys on the X-Men team heading towards a device to stop that device that gives Magneto the ability to control the Earth's crust, which gave him the ability to erupt that mini volcano in the middle of the Soviet Union. The women of the X-Men are going to destroy the computer that controls the machine and could give Magneto the chance to make a new one, except when the women make it to the computer room, well, that computer codes are in another language, so they have to find another way to end the computers. You do have the boys of the X-Men team right now destroying the machine that gives Magneto the control over the Earth's crust. We actually get about 2 pages of this, but it is just them getting rid of it, except that is not the important thing that is going on at the moment. It is what is going on with Storm. Because Storm was able to find the room that Magneto was using to sleep in, and she was actually planning on killing this man, well, she was thinking about it but couldn't go forward with it, except at the same time, Magneto does wake up and begins to attack her. So it seems that maybe Storm is about to be captured by Magneto since she does not stand a chance against him. Of course, she is saved at the last minute because you have Charles Xavier using his powers to attack the mind of Magneto. Now, Charles Xavier is not on the island. He is still on the boat with his group of people. This battle doesn't last long because you have Magneto use his powers to grab Charles Xavier from the boat and bring him to the island. Getting back to the boys of the X-Men team, because once they have gotten rid of the machine Magneto had, well, Magneto walks in to show them that he has captured everyone else, including Charles Xavier. Now, Magneto forgot one thing, which was Storm. When he attacked Storm a while back, when she was debating on killing him, he thought he had killed her when he defeated her. Except she is still alive, and this is going to help the X-Men a lot. The reason why I say that is because you have Storm being able to destroy the machine that was the power damper Magneto had made that had turned off the powers of the X-Men. So while he was talking, Cyclops' powers returned, which then blasted Magneto right in the chest and freed all of the X-Men. Plus, the rest of the X-Men got their power back as well. So this leads into the X-Men fighting against Magneto, working together to finally beat him. Now, this is Marvel showing us how powerful Magneto truly is, because even with all of the X-Men there going against him at the moment, he is still able to stand up against them. I mean, this dude is able to stand up against Charles Xavier, who is trying to attack Magneto's mind. This battle is getting intense, but of course, Magneto always has something else under his sleeve that will give him the edge he needs to defeat the X-Men. There is a computer that is giving him powers in a certain way, so the X-Men need to get rid of it. So Cyclops sends Kitty Pryde to do it for him. This leads into the X-Men fighting against Magneto, while you have Kitty Pryde basically working on destroying the computer so that it will give the X-Men the chance to win. The battle continues to be intense, but of course, Magneto doesn't realize that Kitty Pryde has left the battle, which makes sense because she is the youngest X-Men on the team, which she is able to do and cause a huge explosion. But that makes Magneto upset and goes goes to grab Kitty Pryde to show how angry he is about having this machine being destroyed. Except this is the moment you have Kitty Pryde try to use her phasing powers to maybe knock out Magneto or to throw him off, but he responds by sending a bolt of electricity that ends up knocking Kitty Pryde, which makes Magneto realize what he has done wrong, which makes him feel bad. So when Storm comes by, they have a conversation that his dream had a good purpose, just the way he went for it was wrong. And with him seeing how his actions affect other people, Magneto leaves, and don't worry, Kitty Pryde did not die, she survived. But this is the end of today's comic book video. So please hit that like button down below and subscribe. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video.